Whether you're a fan of all cars and trucks, or you just like one particular brand that is the best and always will be the best, or you're not really into cars and trucks at all, this 2018 Ford F-150 King Ranch Edition is really cool. But do you really want one? Are they actually reliable and safe enough for you to drive? Today, I, a non-biased truck-loving guy, will give you all those answers and more today on That's a Farm. I have always loved the Toyotas the best. They are simply the most reliable truck and car makers. So I'm not into the love Ford, hate Chevy, or love Chevy, hate Ford side of things. Although I do love the old body style Fords and the old body style Mustangs. They just look so much better than those ugly, cheap looking Chevys of the time. And they probably work better too, you know what I mean? Okay. I will admit that I am a little bit biased to Fords. But this isn't a comparison video, it's a review, and I will promise you right now that I do not have everything good to say about this truck. We have 5 categories to talk about with this truck: the exterior, the interior, the mechanics, the comfortability, and finally the verdict. We start with the exterior. And for being in the 13th generation of the F1 series of trucks that lasted from 2015 to 2020, and being 6 years old at the making of this video, it still looks very new. The steel bumper and grille just look awesome on these types of trucks, and the bed is not too scratched up from hauling goats and other things from the past. The size is the same, but it actually looks quite larger than some F-150s because of the lift and the bumpers added onto it. The whole exterior as a whole just makes you want to go,
I want one of those.
and the interior just makes it jump even higher. The seats are just immaculately beautiful, with 2-colored leather, with a ton of legroom in the back for the kids. And the overall detail inside of this truck is just
Nice.
And not to forget, the 2 front seats actually have butt and back massagers. That just blows your mind. And to make your little children even more spoiled, when they whine and complain about how cold they are when you're driving on a cold winter day, you can have heated seats in the back. Oh yeah, it's just amazing. And going back to the exterior, the 6-inch lift on this thing with the aftermarket wheels give a nice touch to the black on white. Overall, the look of this truck is sharper than goosefish teeth. You don't know what a goosefish is, do you? Where have you been living? Under a rock? Look at those pearly whites. Oh man, those things are sharp. You don't want to stick your hand in there, no siree. Where was I? Oh yeah, moving on from the exterior and interior, we go to the mechanical side of things. Don't worry, I won't go into too much detail that the layman wouldn't understand. Now this truck, for fuel saving purposes, has a V6 in it. But not any ordinary V6, a V6 twin turbo. Layman, when you hear the words twin and turbo put together, you know it's got power. And getting 20 miles a gallon on a large truck like this, that's pretty awesome. Now there aren't very many mechanical issues to speak of with this truck, or in any other Ford for that matter, I dare say. But as I recall, there was a small thing that needed rebuilding. Very small. It's barely anything. You want to know what it is, do you? The transmission. Turns out, starting with the 2017 Ford F-150s to newer, with the 10-speed transmission, yes, that's what's in there, they have problems. And I'm not talking about, oh no, there's a bug in my cereal type of problems. I'm talking such bad problems shifting, you gotta pull over on the side of the road and put it into manual mode because the automatic doesn't work at all. If the 10-speed transmission malfunctions while you're driving the truck, you can actually roll over or lose control of the truck and die. We definitely had a scare while driving it when the transmission malfunctioned. But luckily, it didn't get that bad. And Dad just put it into manual and drove it. And long story short, we found a mechanic that was willing to put in a reinforced aftermarket transmission drum, which is what it needed, for the low price of $4,000, which was better than the Ford dealer offered. They were just going to put another one of their transmission drums, which was likely to break again, for the low price of $7,000. Let's just say my dad gained a few new gray hairs that day.
Emotional damage.
But now, with the rebuilt transmission, it runs like it should, and we have had no problems with anything, including the transmission, ever since. But still, I know those Chevy people out there are getting a kick out of this.
What an idiot. Oh, what a loser. Good.
Moving on from mechanical, we go to comfortability, how this thing rides and how comfortable it really is. And with this truck, it's sort of a mix. Of course, it's got the leather and the massage seats in the front, and so much legroom even Shaq would be satisfied in the back. But with the truck being lifted, it can get a little top heavy at times, and a little bumpy. The steering is like every other truck, and the acceleration is not that great like other trucks. And if you want to get grandma and the walker up into it, it ain't gonna happen, let's just say that. Even with the automatic steps that come out of the bottom, you still have to have some flexible and limber limbs to get up into it. Now for what you've all been waiting for, the final verdict. Is this truck really worth having? It completely depends on the variety of factors we discussed, and having an extra $4,000 to rebuild the transmission if it hasn't been already. Do I think it's the best truck ever? I don't really think that exists. Even the best trucks from every single brand have their problems, except for Toyota. But in the end, at a rating from 1 to 10, 1 being absolutely terrible and 10 being the best truck ever, I give it an 8.5 out of 10. Although this truck looks completely awesome, there is the problem of the transmission almost killing you and having it needed rebuilt at only 80,000 miles, which is what happened to us. So I think the 8.5 rating works for this truck very well. Check out some of my other videos, and I'll see you guys next time on That's a Farm.